If you've clicked on this video, you might have a flight or a trip coming up with your baby or your toddler or both. A little background on me, because I'm about to share some things that you have either never thought of, or I'm going to tell you the opposite of what you maybe have seen in other videos or read in blog posts, and I'll explain why. So I'm married to a travel agency owner. We travel all of the time. We have 2 kids. My youngest is 3. She has been on 30 flights. My oldest is 7. She's been on 47 flights. We have done many international trips with them. We have seen it all. We have experienced all the things that could happen have happened. And so that is where all of my tips, tricks, hacks, etc. are coming from. So first, we're going to talk through all my best tips. The latter half of this video, I'm going to share my must-have specific products. Things like, a diaper bag. I've tried like a million of them. I have found one that is the best one, especially for travel. So we'll get into all that. Links will be below. Let's dive in. My first tip, and this is kind of a weird one, and you need to do it before you even pack. Get out all of the luggage or bags, diaper bag, whatever that you think you would like to bring on the trip, and think through who is carrying what. You kind of have to make sure beforehand that you and your significant other, or maybe you're traveling alone, whatever, that you all physically can deal with all of the stuff you're bringing. One example of this was early on, I was trying to bring a diaper bag and my book bag and my purse. And I was trying to do that and carry a baby, and it was way too much. So thinking through ways like, could you consolidate and combine the diaper bag with some of your stuff that would be in your carry-on, or maybe use a bigger bag for that and pack the diaper bag away. And then, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many ways you could do it, but making sure you physically can is pretty important. And that includes your stroller, how you're going to deal with that. And we'll talk about the stroller, car seat stuff here in a minute. My next one is one that is the opposite of what you may have seen and read online. And that is, don't pre-board. Don't board with family boarding unless you don't have assigned seats. So for example, if you're flying on a flight where they don't give you assigned seats and it's kind of first come, first serve, which I'm not sure how many airlines still do it this way, but if they do, then yes, I would say do family boarding, get on, find your seat, make sure you're together. That makes total sense. That's what we would do. That's what we do. But if you already have an assigned seat, the less time you are spending on the airplane, the better. Yes, you can get settled in if you get on early and stuff, but you can get settled in as the plane is getting going. Does that make sense? Like, you're gonna have plenty of time to settle in. Plenty of time. So that's my advice. And again, I don't think that works for everyone. If you're really anxious and you just want to get on and get your space set up, I get it, then do it. But honestly, you guys, if you're doing a flight that's 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, you don't need to spend any extra time on the plane with that sweet baby or toddler. And I just spit all over myself. Okay. Here's something I didn't know until a few years ago. You can actually request a kid-friendly meal on your flights. If it's a longer flight that offers meal service, when you go on your airline's app or on their website, you can actually, where you would do like if you needed a vegan option or vegetarian, etc., usually there's an option for a children's meal. And so you go to their seats, you pick those meals for them. Sometimes they're more kid-friendly than others. You know what I mean? But I always do that now that I know ahead of time, because it is nice. You might have picky eaters or just toddlers. Toddlers are notoriously, finicky eaters. So that is something I don't think a lot of people know about, but is nice. And also knowing too that, if it is a long flight you're going on, flight attendants are amazing people. And if you ask like, hey, can I get more bread and butter because that's all that your toddler will eat? They will probably gladly give you more bread and butter or more of the little bags of pretzels or whatever. Inevitably, there will be a meltdown, okay? Inevitably. And my best advice is take your baby or your toddler to the bathroom. And that sounds weird, that sounds silly, but obviously typically you'd get up and you'd walk around. And yes, definitely do that, definitely try that. But the change of scenery of going into a completely different room for a toddler or a baby can be just enough to kind of jolt their system out of what they're moving towards. The steam is just rolling in this meltdown. It can kind of like realign them almost in that way. It's worked for us, and so it's worth trying. Reality is you could go in there, try it for a minute or two. If it doesn't work, okay, it didn't work. But I think you might be surprised. So have that in your back pocket. If you're having a meltdown, walk towards the back. And if that's not working, walk right on into the bathroom. This is me, you know. Okay. So if you are bringing a stroller or a car seat, you would gate check it. I think if you're this deep into looking into stuff, you might already know this, but you will always bring it to the airline desk at your actual gate, not at the beginning when you're getting your tickets, but at the actual gate. You'll go up to them, say, hey, here's my ticket. I've got a stroller or I've got a car seat that I need to gate check. They'll put a tag on it. That's that. You hold on to it until you get to the bottom of the gangway right before you're stepping onto the airplane. You leave it there. It'll be there when you get off to pick up. So that is so nice. We will typically bring our travel stroller, which that is something I'll talk about later, and all of these are linked below. Our travel stroller, we actually can just bring on board with us. It's small enough that it's carry-on friendly, but we typically just put it in our gate check bag and gate check it, which is great because then we can use the stroller through the airport and it can hold bags or the kid or both, you know, but then we can put it away safely knowing we'll have it on the other end. It's just really nice. Versus, I guess what I'm saying is that versus putting the stroller and checking it at the very beginning when you first get to the airport where you don't see it again. I like having it with us. It's a really nice tool to have. Plus, my thing is you never know when a flight might get delayed. It could be delayed 3 or 4 hours and they might actually take a nap in the stroller if you have it. But if you don't have it, you know, this one you've probably read everywhere, have surprises, especially for the longer flights. And that goes for any of these, but having a few tricks up your sleeve, a few surprises, usually things, and I will have a laundry list below of ideas for you. You don't need them all, but I have tried so many things. Some work better than others, and I'll share that too. But having those little surprises in your back pocket hidden in maybe your bag so they can't see it or in the diaper bag, whatever, is so nice. That novelty is what kind of, they'll focus on a little bit more versus something they've seen every day from home, you know? If you are using a tablet for your kid, first of all, no judgment from me. Okay. We definitely utilize the tool of the tablet once we get to that certain point where it's like, okay, we've exhausted what we have. We're entering meltdown area. You know, it's a great tool in the arsenal. Make sure you download videos ahead of time. You're not going to have Wi-Fi. There are so many great offline apps that you can use, PBS Kids Video, PBS Kids Games. You do need to go on there and actually download ones, but I'll just spend like the night before our trip or a couple nights before, I'll spend some time while we're watching TV and just make sure things are downloaded. If you downloaded something and like a month has passed, double check. Sometimes downloads expire, whether it's on Disney or Netflix, whatever. Always double check because things expire, things just don't load right. And so before any trip, don't rest on your laurels. But yeah, Disney Coloring World will work offline. I'll list a few more of our favorites. I need to go look at the tablet and see. But I did a lot of research and finally found ones that are actually great that actually work offline because some of the lists online are not correct. Okay, I've tested them. They're not correct. Next tip is get the wiggles out at the airport. Honestly, if they're walking, walk around with them. Instead of sitting and having them like sit and eat a snack, whatever, walk around with them. It's good for you too if you're about to sit on an airplane, but just walking the length of the airport with them, whether you're holding them, if you can, and they crawl, like find a place to crawl. Like I know it's so like, ew, it's an airport, but also like they have got to get those wiggles out. If they're a sweet little baby and they're not crawling yet, lay out your blanket, maybe bring an extra blanket for that. I don't know, but I'm just trying to think of ways we've done where they can just get those wiggles out. Some airports are awesome and they have like a little playground inside, which is amazing, but not all of them do. Ours does not. Bribery candy, don't be above it, okay? Especially if we're talking a little bit older. Obviously, you're not gonna give candy to a baby. You know, having a sucker or some Smarties, maybe multiple suckers if it's a longer flight. These are those like backup things that when you are really entering that territory or you're in a meltdown, you're like, what do we do? And the bathroom didn't work. No, I probably would have tried the sucker before the bathroom, but anyway, you might be surprised. So have those kind of, bribery has a negative kind of, you know what I mean, okay? If you get headphones, since most, if they are going to watch a like video or something, or maybe you've got like Miss Rachel or whatever, if they are going to watch something, they technically need headphones, and the flight attendants will come by and say, hey, you can't have that just playing out loud. So they have really soft like baby headphones you can use. We have some we loved, and also the volume is controlled so it can't get too super loud for their little ears. But I would say whatever headphones you get, whether it's baby, toddler, test them out before you go. Because I remember the first time we tried to use them, it was with our first baby, and she couldn't figure out what we were doing, so she was wanting it off of her head, but she was having a meltdown. So test them out beforehand. Have them maybe use them so they're familiar with it. Obviously, some babies are way too young for any of this, but for the older, you know what I'm talking about. Bring 2 extra outfits for your kids. Yes, 2, not 1, not 0, not 1.5, 2. We have been thrown up on, coffee spilled on us, wine spilled on us, number 1 accident, number 2 accident on us. Like, we have seen it all. And not only bring extra clothes for them, bring an extra outfit for yourself. I have been thrown up on. I have had, like I just said, all of those things have occurred, not only to the sweet baby, but to me. And so having at least a fresh shirt, but ideally fresh both, because you never know. You never know. And you will be so glad that you threw that and stuffed that in the bottom of your carry-on. And for that matter, like they always say with diapers and wipes and snacks and formula, bring double whatever you think you're gonna need, because it's not just the flight, it's the airport time beforehand. Again, there could be delays. It's the time after when you're transferring to wherever your hotel or wherever you're going is. Maybe you're not able to go to a restaurant to get a meal, or you can't get to a store to get more stuff. Like, you want that buffer of diapers, wipes, snacks, and food. Don't forget their birth certificate or passport. Depending if you're doing a lap infant, you do need to prove their age when you're first going to the ticket counter. And so birth certificate would do that. If you have a passport, you can use that instead. It's up to you, but you definitely will need that for a lap infant. I always joke that if you assume they won't sleep and just plan for, you know what, it's an 8-hour flight, I'm gonna assume they're not gonna sleep at all, then you're pleasantly surprised if they do. But if you were like, okay, and then they'll sleep from this hour to this hour, well, guess what? You know they're not gonna. But I've always been pleasantly surprised. I think if you just set yourself up for the worst case scenario, it's like terrible advice. Set yourself up for worst case scenario and you may be pleasantly surprised. And at the end of the day, whoever it is that you know, if your kid's having a meltdown, like these were the anxieties I have and still have. At the end of the day, if someone is judging you for your kid crying or throwing a fit or whatever, that person is not going to still be thinking about this moment that night at dinner or the next day. This is a momentary discomfort that none of you guys will remember in like a day or two. I mean, you might, but you know what I'm saying. So just keep that in mind. It's so temporary. And at the end of the day, your flight will land, you will get to where you're going, and none of those people will ever remember whose baby was doing what. You know what I mean? That's comforting to me. I don't know if it's comforting to you, but I know that was my biggest anxiety, especially early on. And so, yeah. Okay, my must-haves. These are going to be very specific. Like I said, I will link below what I'm mentioning if that is helpful to you. But also some of these can be general. Like you find your own version of whatever it is that I'm mentioning, if it would be something that would help you. So first thing that has helped us on longer flights is this layout mat. We have tried a lot. We've tried the like kind you blow up and it's like on the floorboard. I don't even know if you're allowed to have those. We did, and they didn't say anything. This was like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe even longer. We have found a lot of success with the kind that you actually just clip onto the tray table and then close the tray table. You can adjust it and it kind of just extends the chair. So that way, like, you know, my oldest is not able to just lay straight on it, but she's able to kind of curl up and her legs are cradled with this versus like dangling on the ground. And then of course for the younger ones, the toddlers, they fit on there pretty well. And so it has made it so that they actually have slept. And in our experience, when we've had those versus not, the international flights that were overnight, they actually did sleep like 4 or 5 hours versus like 2 maybe on other ones where we didn't have it. So highly recommend, very inexpensive. It folds pretty small. Definitely look at it and figure out how it works before you get on the airplane, because you might be like, what? Like, what? Give it a moment before you leave to make sure you understand where you would actually put it. But that was a game changer. A clip-on phone clip. So regardless of if you're using a tablet for your young one or not on the flight, having this kind of phone mount, if you're, let's say, nursing your baby and you're 5 hours in the flight and you're bored and maybe they don't have a screen or your screen's not working, whatever, you can have your phone on there and you could be watching while feeding, nursing, whatever. Or if you don't want to have a tablet, but you have maybe a few videos downloaded to your phone just in case for your little one, you can have those up there, and then you don't need the tray table for it. It can kind of be clipped up out of the way, hands-free. It is a very nice tool to have. And again, these fold up super small, so they're not taking up a bunch of room or weight in your luggage. Our go-to travel stroller is this one from Bugaboo. They make many different kinds. There's one particular one we love. This one is carry-on friendly. It's approved for carry-on size. We end up gate checking ours anyway. Like I said, just one less thing to deal with on the plane. But we also, if you are gate checking something, might I recommend getting a gate check bag for it. You can get one that are specific sizes and for certain brands. We found one generic brand you can get on Amazon that they have sizes for all of the different things. So we've used that same brand and bought one for like our Duna car seat when we had that, one for our travel stroller, etc. They're way less expensive and they have worked amazingly. And the reason it is nice to have a gate check bag is not just to prevent like a little scuff here and there. If you have something in your stroller that might fall out, or you might not even think about, like an accessory. The one time we gate checked a stroller and didn't have a bag on it, one of the like, you know, the like lap bars that's hooked into it came off and was missing, probably somewhere at the bottom of the plane. So having that bag kind of also helps capture anything that might fall off or anything like that. And the Duna car seat I mentioned, that was such a game changer for us with our second baby, truly, because it's the car seat that turns into a pushing stroller. You can buy accessories like little bags that'll clip onto it to make it more stroller-like. Amazing for travel when you have a younger baby, toddler, it'd have to be a young toddler still fitting in it, but I think by then you would have grown out, but that is amazing. I love the Duna car seat. Our favorite diaper bag. First of all, if you want to see my comparison, because I do have others I do like, I will link, this is what the video looks like. I can link it below if you want to watch that next, if you're in diaper bag world right now. But the Away diaper bag is the best one by far. It is feather light, truly. It has the little sleeve on the back so you can slide it onto your suitcase handle so you don't even have to wear it if you don't want to. Every single thing in the design of that bag is so well thought out, especially for travel. We use it for our everyday diaper bag too. I mean, we use it for all of it. But after all that I've tried, that is definitely my favorite specifically for travel. And if you want more details, like I said, you can watch that video. All right, so now let's get into baby-specific things and toddler-specific things that I recommend, things to capture their attention and keep them busy on the airplane. Some of these can overlap. Okay, I'm just kind of generally categorizing just because I think it's helpful, but you know, do whatever you want. The little spinny window things. I feel like you see these all over the internet now, but it is a nice thing, especially for babies that are still like, wow, you know what I mean? Like that would mesmerize them. You can put them on the back of the chair. You can put them on the window. They can spin them. That will occupy certain ages of babies for a surprising amount of time. Honestly, they're kind of fun to play with as the adult too. Also, just throwing this in here, if you've got a baby that uses a pacifier, bring extra pacifiers because you know that thing is going to drop on the bottom of the floor and you're going to be grossed out until you can like properly wash it. Just bring more pacifiers than you would think, especially on a trip. I feel like we would lose pacifiers and there's a certain brand they like, you know what I mean? And so I ended up bringing like 6 to 8 pacifiers just in case. But also consider a pacifier clip, obviously, especially on the plane where it might fall off and it'd be disgusting. I mentioned the soft headphones, also a stroller blanket. You can use it on the airplane as well, which is nice. You could also kind of use it as a nursing cover. But these actually like Velcro around the stroller. So that way when they're laying there, the stroller's not falling off onto the ground. So when you're going around the airport, maybe they're napping, you could use it to cover them. Like there's so many uses beyond the fact that it's also just a blanket, which is cozy and comfy on the airplane. So there is one that I love that we've had for years that I recommend. The little buckle toy. You know these are great because especially as they get older, I mean, even my 3.5-year-old at this point will still play with this toy. She's still mastering them. So I feel like, and there's all kinds, there's smaller ones, there's bigger ones with even more. On that vein, those like quiet books that have, sometimes they'll have things like this. They have little Velcro pieces, doesn't make noise or anything, but there's lots of different activities to do. This suction cup toy holder, I think they still sell this. This is amazing because you can suction this to, let's say, the tray table, but then you can attach a couple different toys to it so that they don't fall on the floor. This is great for restaurants too. And one of the greatest things ever invented is this baby bottle or cup bungee cord. This will fit, it's just elastic, so it'll fit around any cup you have, whether it's a bottle, sippy cup, etc. And it can tie to yourself or, you know, if you're in the airplane, you can tie it to the tray table thing, you can tie it to the stroller. That way, if they're at that age where they're flinging cups and bottles everywhere, it will not hit the floor. It won't roll away under another seat. etc. Again, amazing in restaurants too, especially for the trip. That was one of the greatest discoveries of our lives. These little magnetic men are cute. These are fun. You can kind of build with them. Again, babies, any age, I would say. I always say with these, like, you know, I don't know, like I get a little nervous with magnets with babies, so maybe this is more like toddler friendly. Use your own judgment, but these are fun because they can kind of magnetize together and do all that kind of stuff. The pop tubes are a popular one. I accidentally bought giant, like really thick diameter pop tubes, and they weren't as easy for my toddler to play with when she was younger. And so there's different sizes. I would get the smaller, like the less diameter size, but those are fun for everyone. An airplane tray cover can be nice. My only caution is I have one and it seemed great. I'm reading the reviews, etc. I brought it on a long flight and it did not fit on the tray table we had, and like not even close. I think because so many planes can differ so wildly, sometimes I caution against an airplane tray cover because you just don't know. You might buy it and not be able to use it like for us. But if it does fit, it is really nice because things won't necessarily roll all over the place. You know what I mean? It kind of keeps things contained. So, you know, okay, I've never bought this in fairness, but as I was looking up and making sure most of this stuff was still sold, there was this all-in-one set they sell that's very clearly, this is genius, geared towards travel, airplane travel, road travel, whatever. And it's got all kinds of different stuff. A lot of similar things that I mentioned, but it's all in one. If that would make your life easier, it might be worth looking at. I think it's a little bit pricey for what it is. But again, if the idea of piecemealing these things together, like maybe that is the move for you. Okay, now my toddler must-haves, things to keep them busy on the airplane. Water wows. These are the little things where you fill it up with water and then the picture appears when it gets wet. It dries after 10 minutes. They can do it again. And it's got multiple pictures in there. My toddler loves these. She will spend so long doing water wows. They have one that is scented. It's pretty cool, I have to say. Anyway, those are definitely a fave. Honestly, for each trip, we'll just get like a new one. You know what I mean? Just something exciting, different to look at. Our favorite toddler headphones. So we have had the kind that are Bluetooth connected and with the wire. That's the best of both worlds if you know you'll like having the Bluetooth capability, or if you think your kid won't like the wire. If your kid doesn't mind the wire, I like just the full-blown wired headphones nowadays because it's one less thing to charge. If you're wanting to use a Bluetooth, then you need to also charge the headphones. Whereas if you've got the aux jack, it's just so much easier. So the Yoto Mini was a surprise to me how much they loved this. This is a great, I know, like depending on when you're watching this, birthday gift, Christmas gift, because it's a little bit pricier for sure. But these are like this big and you get these little cards and you buy these cards for them and they are, some of them are stories, some of them are songs. They're all characters they know and love, you know, Disney, Sesame Street, Coco, like all of it. And they can bring them with them and they put the card in, they can plug their headphones in and listen to these stories and songs. So if you really are trying to avoid screens or you're trying to have just another option in addition to them, they love their little Yoto Minis. They play with them at home too. But again, that's another thing that like if they had it and you traveled often or like maybe once a year, you could get them a new Yoto card for every trip. So then they're excited to listen to the new thing. These little LCD writing tablets are a hot commodity. We have big fans of these in our family. We will bring these are always in our diaper bag is what I'm trying to say. They use these all the time in the car, in restaurants. You can play games on them, tic-tac-toe as they get older, practice letters. You can just draw silly pictures, play Pictionary. I mean, the world is your oyster, and both of my kids still love them and they have loved them for years. So this is one that out of all of this, I highly recommend these LCD tablets. They are very inexpensive and they are very useful. Kids love them. Wiki sticks are another fun one. Those are those like bendable wax sticks. They can make little pictures. Sometimes they'll make like little glasses out of them. Usually after a plane ride, I'll throw away whichever ones they were using just because I feel like it's gross. But you can get packs where there's like individual ones. So it's got like 5 or 6 in it. They could use that for that flight. And then, you know, there's a million different ways, but Wiki sticks are definitely fun. Sticker wow. This is this genius invention of just like a play pad of paper, but you have this little thing with stickers loaded in it and they just press it down. It doesn't take any action other than just placing it there and the sticker sticks. So they're sticking it in all these areas. It sounds kind of dumb, I'm gonna be honest. When I tell you I bought my 3-year-old one we were flying back from California. So it was like a 4.5 hour flight. We were waiting. I gave it to her before the plane, which usually I don't recommend, but we were entering nap zone and it was about to get nasty. So she has her sticker. Wow. I swear to you, she sat there for 45 minutes doing it, every single page. Now, eventually it does get used up. I did learn, though, the other day, you can actually buy refill little sticker packs. So you might consider, if you're planning on buying this or bringing it, maybe buy a little refill as well. But they love it. Oh my gosh, they love it. I was doing it. I get it. It actually is really fun. This erasable doodle board was really popular, especially with like older toddlers and even like just younger kids, because you can do different colors. All you need is like a wet washcloth, which it comes with a cloth you can get wet. Or you could just use a baby wipe. Vitamin C suckers. So having suckers like during takeoff and landing is really nice for the older kids. Maybe they're not drinking out of a bottle or nursing or anything. Having something they can suck on, a sucker, is a great idea. We like these ones that are vitamin C pops because we figure, well, at least they're getting something good out of it. You know, it makes us feel better, okay? And the kids like them, so it's a win-win. These little sticker faces that you can buy, they have like Disney princess ones. They have animals, dinosaurs, just silly faces, and everything in between. You can find this in any, and they come in a lot in a pack. So these are amazing, like I said, in restaurants too, but also just on an airplane, because once they're done with one sticker thing, they can get another. They don't take up much room. The packs come with a lot. Those are a high recommendation from me. The rainbow kind of like scratch pads are really fun for, I think, all ages, toddler and up. And also hidden picture stickers. So these were from, you know, the Highlights brand. These are ones we tried recently and they both loved, where you find the hidden pictures and you can put stickers where you find them. Super fun. Again, something different for them to do. Also sticker by letter, sticker by color, or color by sticker. What do they call it? They have so many different versions where you put the stickers where they go and it makes like a mosaic picture. Older kids like that too. I like that. I mean, that's fun for me too. So shameless little plug for my husband's travel agency. If you are booking travel or thinking about travel in the future, he owns a travel agency. It is called People Mover Travel. It's a service that would be free to you. They will plan your trip, book your trip, especially if you are going to a place maybe that's a little more foreign to you, like Europe or elsewhere. They are wonderful at that, but also they do a lot of Disney World trips, Disney cruise. We are big Disney people. Another shameless plug. If you are into Disney parks or Disney cruise, we have a podcast and video podcast called Disneyville. I'd love to have you check it out. I can link it below. So the other thing is, if you want to see everything I just mentioned written out, we have a couple of blog posts that honestly my husband painstakingly wrote out, and they are comprehensive. Okay, these are detailed. It will answer any question you've ever had about traveling with a baby and our best tips, etc. I will link those blog posts below if you'd rather have it written. I feel like if you'd rather be able to read it, like maybe you take information in better that way, there you go. And if you do have a trip coming up, let me recommend you watch this video of mine next. This is my ultimate list of travel must-haves for you, the grown-up. These are things I have tested, so many things, you guys, and these are my top picks that I love, and I think nearly all of them are available on Amazon, so if you need it quick or last minute, you probably can get that. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I know this is a long one. I hope you subscribe, stick around. I do vlogs. We hang out together all the time. I upload 2 videos a week. I'd love to have you join, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, friends.